Welcome to today's episode of the School Matters podcast. Today we're talking about something that affects everybody who is either currently a student in VISD or is going to be a student in VISD, student priority registration. Why should you register during student priority registration? What happens if you miss student priority registration? Everything you need to know about student priority registration. We'll be answering all the questions you have and maybe the questions you didn't know you had. I'm so glad to have this amazing group of people here with me today. I'm going to let y'all introduce yourself because we're talking about student priority registration, a very important topic. So please introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Dawn Maroney. I am the Executive Director of Student, Parent, and Community Services.
My name is Jennifer Garnett. I'm the principal at Martin Daley-on Elementary School.
I am Justin Gabbage, principal of Victoria East High School.
All right, so we're talking about student priority registration, a very important topic. We are in our third year of having a 1-month priority window for parents and guardians to register their students for school here in VISD. Talk to me about why it's so important for parents and guardians to take advantage of this window for registering their students.
Okay, so I'll kind of start at the district level. At the district level, it's important for us because we look at all different components of the district. First and foremost, building capacity and the numbers and enrollment that the campus can hold. Secondly, we make sure that they have enough staff, and what staffing needs they need are based off of campus enrollment. But there's other layers that we also have to look at. We want to start planning as early as possible for transportation. You know, do we need additional bus routes? Also, child nutrition. Do we need to set up additional things for cafeteria to flow smoothly? And then lastly, technology. We're one-to-one district, and so do we have enough Chromebooks for our students? And so, but I'll step back from the district level and kind of let you think of, from the campus perspective, what does that look like?
Well, for elementary school, you definitely want to make sure that you're in your zoned neighborhood school. This leads to better attendance. It leads to coming to school on time. And we also want to make sure that we have the correct staffing for all of our students. And because we have a low student to staff ratio of 22-1, those seats fill up fast. And those class sizes, we like keeping them small, but we also want to make sure we have all the resources for our students. Once you register, we're able to order those resources for the next year, and that ensures that your students, all of their learning materials are there for the first day of school.
From the secondary standpoint, we're talking, thousands of kids. And so it's important for us to know where kids need to be and how many classes we need to build out. So if we need, 17 sections of English 1, I know exactly how many sections to build the master schedule, or the counselors know what schedules to build out. It also guarantees that your kid is going to get a schedule come day one. It's very important, and I know that kids are all about what classes do I have and who's in my class. And so when we have the early registration, we can build out our class sizes, figure out how many sections we need, and then at the towards the end of or the beginning of August, then you're able to tell everybody what classes they actually have. So class availability and registration go hand in hand as we talk about the hundreds of sections that we offer at the secondary level.
And so the process of online registration, because we are a strictly online registration district, what does that look like for a parent?
Well, I can tell you for a parent, it's much simpler online versus I think all three of us sat through the long lines of registration prior to online registration. It's much more convenient for parents. There's not one set time. It's it's open, so you're able to register. But first and foremost, you have to go to our website, to our VISD website, and then you'll visit the registration page. And then there's going to be two different paths you can take. You're either going to be a new student or you're going to be a current student. So new students to VISD are students that are not currently enrolled for this 24-25 school year. So let's say you were here in first grade and then you moved off for a couple of years and you're coming back in fourth grade, you would still be a new student because you're not enrolled in 24-25. Current students, those are students that are currently enrolled and they are going to be returning to us next year. And they are going to either be returning to us at the campus that they're currently at, or possibly if they're moving over the summer, they're still going to be members in VISD. Then they would be still a current student, but they're going to register for their new campus. And so once you've determined which path, if you're a new student or a current student, then that's going to lead you to the process of what do you need to get ready. So as a new student, you're going to have the parent's going to have an email because you're going to set up an account for your enrollment information. So you'll set that account up and then you'll be able to complete the new student registration process. Current students are a little bit different. Current students are going to receive a SNAP code and they already have accounts set up. That account is a kind of a portal that holds all of their current enrollment information. And so that SNAP code is going to be all you're going to need to be able to launch the process to be able to do registration.
So what happens if a parent doesn't receive a SNAP code for their child?
Okay. So SNAP codes are individual. So even if you have 3 children, each individual child is going to get a SNAP code. And it's always going to go to the parent guardian email that we currently have in our system for the student. So I always tell parents, because we get the call, we send out approximately 12,000 SNAP codes each year. And so I always tell parents, well, first, before we resend it, let's check and see if it's in your spam box, okay? Because it's not coming from a regular VISD email address. It's a no reply email address. So we first check spam. Then we go and we check the search bar. I tell them, go to your search bar and type in the word SNAP code, all one word. And 9 times out of 10, they're able to find it that way. Somehow that is the magic word that pulls it up. And if all else fails and they still can't find it, then that's kind of a red flag to us to tell us that maybe your email is not up to date, or maybe there's something wrong with the email. And so at that point, the campus will go in and they will check the guardian's email. And then if updates need to happen, the campus will update it, and then we will resend the SNAP code to that email. We cannot give SNAP codes out over the phone to protect students' privacy and safety. So it has to be emailed to the guardian. Plus, an updated email is so critical because everything else in communications is going to be coming through that email in regards to enrollment.
Okay, so I've got my SNAP code. I've logged in. What else do I need to get my kid registered?
Okay, so now it's that required documentation. The required documentation that you're going to have for registration. First and foremost, the beauty of an online registration system is we can upload documentation now. So all of your documents, you can actually upload into the registration system as you are registering. So prior to this, you'd have to go take copies, stand in line, get that, drop them off at the campus. Now you're able to upload those in the system. It can either be from a scanned file from a computer, or if you're registering on your phone, you can take a picture of the document and upload it right there. We highly encourage parents to use that upload feature because it just expedites the entire registration process. And we can't approve registration completely until all of those documents are received. So what kind of documents do we need? First and foremost, all students are going to have current immunizations. So for new students, we have to have a copy of that current immunization shots. And then current students, and I'm going to make sure I get all of them. If you're in EE, pre-K, P3, kindergarten, or 7th grade, those are those magic grades that you have to have a new immunization submitted for the district. And so you're going to want to make sure that you've got that in first and foremost, because we cannot put a student in a classroom if they are out of immunization compliance. After that, you want to make sure that you have current proof of residency. So we heard earlier that it's so important to attend the campus in your zone because it helps with attendance, and making sure that you have that current proof of residency submitted with our registration will ensure that you are coded to the right campus.
Right.
And then last, we want to have photo ID. This is for safety. We definitely want to have our photo IDs on file of our guardians. And so those are the 3. Now, new students will have a couple of additional documents that they'll have to bring, and you can go right as you're registering. You'll be able to see all the documents that new students have to have.
So I want to talk about real quick. We do have a lot of Spanish-speaking families in our district, and so Crane Elementary is hosting some student registration events for Spanish-speaking families. Can you share more about that event? It's a 2-day event that they're hosting, and what that will look like.
Absolutely. And so we will have a computer lab set up for Crane. And it's not just for Crane parents. It's for any parent in VISD that needs assistance. We will have people there to be able to help our Spanish-speaking parents. The dates are April 8th and May 9th. We're going to open the lab up from 7:30 that morning until 5:30 that afternoon. We will have VISD staff there to be able to assist parents, either if they have questions regarding the registration template or process, or even if they just need help uploading documents. You'll have that opportunity. So we encourage all of our Spanish-speaking parents to come out and take advantage of one of those days so we can make sure that we get all the kids registered.
And just for other parents or guardians, we can do student registration on our phones or from an iPad, but for those who aren't really tech savvy and they need assistance scanning documents and uploading them, where can they go in the district to do online student registration?
Absolutely. And so at any time they can contact their campus and they'll set up an appointment. But I'll turn to our campus principals who are the experts on that, on how do you support your parents as they're registering.
Well, we know that priority registration opens up April 1st, and parents are more than welcome to come at any point during the day, and we will help them. We'll facilitate that registration process.
Same for secondary schools. If you have some trouble, just come up to the school, give us a call. Make sure you bring all the necessary documents to save yourself a trip, but we'll be happy to assist anybody who needs a little help.
Awesome. And we do have this window, April 1st through April 30th, for student priority registration. But what happens if you miss priority registration?
Well, if you miss priority registration, we still want you to register. You're not, you're not getting kicked out of the district or anything. We absolutely need you to register. We want you to register as quickly as possible, though, because we go back to what we talked about with the capacity of the campuses. They fill up quick as the enrollment at some of our campuses are full capacity. You want to make sure that you ensure that spot and save that seat for your student. So the earlier you register, the more chances you are of getting that seat. The same thing with the secondary campuses in those classes. So if you miss that 30th deadline, the registration portal will still be open. We will still assist you if you need assistance and everything, but our push this year is to see how many students we can get registered in that first month.
And we're pushing our pre-K education. Do pre-K students need to register?
Absolutely. So pre-K students will register in our pre-K program. There's 2 different ways. You can register as a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old in our program, and there's different eligibility for those registration pieces. And so you can definitely look at our website and see if you would be eligible for that. We also have pre-K tuition. And that application is available on our website at our application hub as well. But I'll refer to our elementary principal. Why is it important for pre-K students to register?
It fills up, and we only have a certain amount of space, and pre-K education leads to success. And we know that enrollment in VISD has just gone up and up every single year when it comes to our pre-K. So make sure you register early and make sure you have all your documentation.
Okay, I'm a parent. I've applied for a transfer to attend another school. What happens?
Okay. So whenever you receive your SNAP code, if you're a current student and you've applied for a transfer, you receive your SNAP code, you're going to log in to register, and your current zoned campus is going to be in your information, in your enrollment information. You want to go ahead and proceed to register, because if one of the things that the transfer committee looks at is whether or not you've completed registration. At that point in May, when the transfers have been reviewed, if you are approved for the requested transfer, then the campus will go in and they'll change your building code. If not, then it would stay the same building code. But it's critical that you still get that transfer student requesting registered as quickly as possible.
Okay. So I think I've covered every scenario for students registering. It's the summertime. I'm getting ready for the next school year. I've completed registration. What happens next? Talk to me about why it's important that I've completed registration for my elementary child or for my secondary child.
For elementary, Sneak Peek is so fun, and you never want to miss that because that's where students get to come and see their classroom, their teacher, unload their supplies. They feel comfortable in this environment, and it gets them excited about that first day of school. So first day of school, you have to attend or you're no longer registered and you have to start over. This is very important for parents to know. Also, when it comes to elementary registration, we want to make sure that the parents are invested so our students are invested. It matters that it starts at home.
So from the secondary level, we want to invite our freshmen coming into us. So we have freshman orientation. Kids can be dropped off by their parents. They can come around, meet some staff, walk around the campus, and just kind of get to know what the next 4 years is going to hold. It's very important for us, again, for the registration. So right now, kids are going through course selection. And so if you register on time and do it before the first day of school, you're almost guaranteed to get that particular course. That's how we built the master schedule. So it's very important that you do register to get the classes that you want, and we set you on a pathway for success. It's also very important, I want to note, to show up on the first day of school. If you do not show up on the first day of school, you have to be dropped. And so then you might lose your course selection and you have to start some of this process over to re-enroll. So it's very important to show up on the first day as well.
All right. So let's recap important dates. Student SNAP codes start going out the week of March 24th. Student priority registration opens April 1st through April 30th. Do y'all have any other important information y'all want to share about student priority registration?
I think the only other thing that I would give as a helpful hint would be to have all your documents together, have them scanned, or have pictures taken, and then emergency contacts. Make sure that you've got your emergency contact information, any information that you need to update in the system. If you have all of that together prior to logging in, it's a very quick and simple process to complete.
All right. Well, thank you all so much. And I can't believe we're already getting ready for the next school year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us and this conversation about student priority registration for the 2025-26 school year. Student SNAP codes have started going out this week, so get ready to register your students for the next school year. If you know somebody who might benefit from watching this podcast or somebody who's new to VISD and the online student registration process, be sure to share this podcast with them so they can stay in the know. We look forward to continuing the conversation about what matters the most, our students. Stay connected by following us online at VISD.net and on Facebook, Spotify, and YouTube. And if you haven't subscribed to the School Matters podcast yet, now's the time. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and stay in the know.